Good morning, everyone. Hi, I'm Cheryl Carr, your work doctor, and this is the Achieve with Dr. C broadcast, Monday morning edition. Yes, I actually got on this week. Now, my social media team and I were working to get this formatted. We may go to a bi weekly, we may change to once a month. I don't know, but we're growing. We have more listeners. And I think you guys know I work a lot in corporate America. So I'm broadcasting and sharing this video blog, different formats in different ways. And again, loving the way things are developing. They're slower than I would like, but you'll still get great content. The look may change, it may change time, it may change days, but you'll always be able to count on the Achieve with Dr. C broadcast to bring you good information to help you self manage, self coach your own mental and emotional well being. How are you this Monday morning? What's your greatest joy today? What's your goal for today? How do you want to feel today? Those are all the big questions I ask myself, especially Sunday evenings, Monday mornings, when I'm doing all my planning and putting my day together or my week together. Um, I want to talk to you about something that is very important, as I always say, but I want to start out by letting you know this is not counseling, therapy, or anything meant to take the place of your own mental and emotional practitioner that you see, nor am I trying to take the place of your pastor or wherever you help seek. This is information sharing, mostly my own opinion, well data researched and sought out. And I can't speak as an expert, but I choose to do this show in a way that I'm not trying to coach you. As I always say, you are an expert in you. You are the expert in you, on you, about you. You know more about you than anyone else because you've been you your whole life. So when you listen to me, take this information as something you can use to highlight, look at, investigate, or continue to help seek with your own professional that can help you personally. Okay? Please don't take this information as counseling. It's not. It's not even coaching. We got a plethora of coaches out there. I don't do that because I know the importance of if you issue spot, if you find you have an issue, it is best for you to seek help personally. Okay? So make sure you do that. And if you're not following me on YouTube, make sure you go click that subscribe button and listen in. You can watch the rebroadcast. It has the text, which I've been told that's what everybody loves. So you can then listen at your own leisure. And if you're listening to this rebroadcast, thank you. I appreciate if you can't catch me live, as few can do because most of us are working, then you will watch the rebroadcast. Also, if you're not following me on Facebook, go to Facebook, follow me at Dr. Cheryl Carr, not my personal page, because I do my business on my business page, and my personal page is my personal page and it's locked up pretty tight. So let's do that, okay? Let's dig into the information. I'm talking to a lot of people, and this is in corporate, this is personally, this is spiritually. I'm talking to a lot of people, and I'm finding out not only are we not gentle with ourselves, what I taught on last month, people are so hard on themselves as if being gentle and loving with yourself is ungodly or self indulgent or any of the things we may think about being kind to ourselves. And the number one issue I have it. I know you have it. Is the way we talk to ourselves. How is your self talk? Do you know your voice, your thoughts, the way you talk to yourself is the most important voice you will hear? You put that voice between you and everything and everyone. If you don't have good self talk, I know it is extremely difficult, if not impossible, to develop positive emotions, positive well being. You can't have self efficacy or any self compassion if your self talk is off. What is self talk? Do you know? It is how you think or talk to yourself in your head. It is a loop, it is a sound, it is the use of words in your own native language. And it can be the repeat loop in your head from your parents or your significant other, your spouse, your children. Those things melt into how you listen in your head. There's so much psychobabble out here convincing people to be their own psychologist or psychiatrist. There are unqualified, untrained people giving advice from their personal experience or being paid from those powers that be that want to shape how you think. And so they give you a message that one tries to tell you your thoughts and thinking isn't important, that you can just let fly into your head whatever's rolling around in there and you have no control over it. That's not true. Now, do you have absolute control over the voices in your head? Does talking to yourself out loud from what you're hearing inside, does that make you crazy? No, it does not. It is a common thing. We all do it. It's the way the brain conducts business. You have self talk, and self talk is that continual loop of words, sentences, statements, emotions. All of that is balled up in your noggin, inside your own head. And I want to share with you that few people have good self talk. It is a thing to be worked on. It's a thing you alone control. There's a lot of, again, psychobabble and cliches and quotes out there about, you need people to build you up, that you have to have positivity around you at all times, which is so unrealistic. It's not realistic. It doesn't happen. That sets you up to think you always have to have this Pollyanna, don't let no bad news attitude towards life or internal self talk. It's a lot of pressure to live in what isn't reality. The harsh truth is life happens, things happen, and some of the things are hard and they're horrible and they don't make sense. And they can leave you in a thought loop that can lead you down a road of being emotionally and mentally unhealthy. So is trying to be uber spiritual to the point where you don't feel like you are responsible for your thoughts. You believe it's something outside of you that can affect how you think and talk to yourself inside. That's not true. You alone are responsible for how you talk to yourself. And many of us would never talk to anyone else the way we've been talked to, nor would we talk to other people the way we talk to ourselves. Truth is, negativity is all around you. Just cut on the news, walk out your front door, listen to the news, pick up your social media, look at your social. Negativity is all around. But the great thing is that negativity doesn't have to turn your thinking and emotions negative. And it all goes back to how you take in information and then think it and talk to yourself about it. Now, this may sound difficult to people because I have learned in my going on 7 years of being in psychology as a professional, people prefer the negative. Sexual, negative. Those are the two big things that people are bent towards. If you look at the majority of messaging we get on the news or on social media, it's steeped in negativity. It may be a few positive voices out there, but as we've endured this pandemic, people are more and more comfortable with the most negative and debasing and denigrating things about society and about other people. And that can't help but feed how you think to yourself and the things you say to yourself. So, what do we do to help you master how you talk to yourself? Master how you're thinking and then speaking inside. That then feeds what comes out of you. I want to talk about that for a minute, pulling up my notes. The first thing you can do, and this is what I coach and give counsel to people to do, even companies. We have to, as part of change management, get people thinking better about a change so that they can then change. Same thing for us personally in our own lives. Reflect on your self talk. Unfiltered. Just do it for a few days. Tune in to what's going on inside of your head. What is dominating how you think and how you talk to yourself? What is dominating your brain? When you first wake up in the morning, that is a great time to tune in because we're getting out of sleep and our dreams and all of that, and we're getting ourselves going. I do a great job here because I've developed a disciplined practice of how I talk to myself at the beginning of the day and how I talk to God. Try that. You can jot it down or you can speak it. Like I use my notepad on my phone a lot and I just talk about what's going on. Write it down. It's good to know so you don't get nervous and overwhelmed about how you're thinking. Don't judge it. It is what it is. Once you developed in a knowledge of how you're talking to yourself, then you can go to work if it isn't the best, or if it's not how you want to think, or if it's not serving you well to think the way you think and to talk to yourself the way you talk to yourself. You can change it. It's hard work. I won't lie to you. It's the hardest thing I have to continually work at. And so will you. It is a never ending thing because as you live and breathe, you're taking in information and words that all impacts how you think and your thought loops. There's a proverb that says there's a good wolf and a bad wolf inside of you. And the one that will lead is the one you feed the most. So, how you're feeding your mind is how you will lead. If it's negative and hateful and gossip and shame and guilt and grief and negative, society's going down to hell in a handbasket, men this, women that. I've just stopped listening, reading, and participating in all of that stuff. Not because it's not valid, it's just not how I want my mind focused, especially now when we have so many things going on. I've got to make a decision how I'm going to work this mind of mine and the things I'm going to talk to myself about and how I want that to happen. So, once you've done that, you've looked at how you're thinking, you've made a decision. I don't like the way I talk to myself. I'm noticing inside my thinking is continually the worst, negative, catastrophizing, whatever's bad. That's where I just, and that is a natural tendency. That is the most natural, lazy way to live, is just giving in to that one. To change it so that you can think better, you have to replace the negativity. I've counseled a lot of my friends and family. Shut off the TV, turn off the news. And this is something I have with a lot of men that I help. Y'all are some news consuming people. Maybe because it's information driven, but what y'all don't realize is continually feeding yourself the news. You are shaping your worldview and your self talk. And it ain't good. It's just not. And if they can't completely turn it off, which most of them fight me on that. Oh, the news is fine. They're telling the truth. I actually had someone say that to me when I asked them, do you think the news is being truthful with you? Yeah, for the most part. Shocked me. Hey, good morning, fam. Hiya. How are you? How are you doing? But men, women, I think we tend not to watch it as much because it is so negative and we're more emotional creatures, even though I think men are more emotional than women. Y'all just don't show it the same. Anyway, I think good. I'm glad you're good. Good morning, Sharon. How are you? I want you to replace negativity. That's one good thing that you can start to help deal with negative self talk. Learn to tell yourself the truth instead of beat yourself up. Be gentle with yourself. Let's say, for example, you're doing a project or you're trying something, you mess up, which we all do, especially if you're trying something for the first time. Instead of letting yourself go, oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I can't do anything right. Or dwelling on the fact that I should know how to do this. Instead of doing that, replace that negative self loop with, I'm new to this. I'm allowed to make mistakes. Tell yourself this inside. Replace that negative thought loop. Don't let yourself get back into a pattern of pressing yourself down. Work on that. Reassure yourself that instead of thinking of problems needing solutions, think of solutions looking for a problem. Did you catch that? It's a different way of thinking. Being problem oriented can bog you down. It takes away from your creativity. You can't innovate. It doesn't allow the mind to figure things out because you get back in that loop of negativity. And most of us then give up or we'll just get it done without any excellence, without any ability to excel and conquer a problem. So stop letting yourself beat yourself up for a mistake over and over and over again. Put a time limit on it. It's okay if you're like me. I like to tell the truth. I like owning my stuff. When I mess up, I don't coddle, I don't coach, I don't rockabye baby, I don't baby myself. But because of that, I have a history of being very harsh and hard on myself. I don't do that anymore. I really don't. I have learned to be kind to myself and to talk to myself with assurance and compassion and kindness, the same way I would talk to a person outside of me when they make a mistake or they need to be encouraged. I do that for myself. I put my own ear mask on first. I'm so much happier. Are things perfect? Do I do this perfectly? No. No, I don't. I can get down, not often, but I can get down in the dumps and stuck in a negative loop. But that lasts very short, a lot shorter now that I'm aware of what I'm teaching you today. You are responsible for how you talk to yourself. Being harsh, being unkind to yourself, calling yourself names in your head, repeating the names you were called because they hurt so bad. It's not helpful. It's not helpful. It's not going to help you conquer and do better. It will keep you bogged down in negativity. So replace negative self talk, replace it. Then reassure yourself. That is something that's so important to encourage yourself. And then relabel your self talk. That's part of being self compassionate. That's part of being self compassionate is to relabel your talk. You can take one thing that you notice when you did an evaluation of your self talk, you can take one thing and for the rest of that month or week or however long it takes you to impact that thinking, do that. Thank you. So I can't read your name. I really can't see your name, but thank you. So Celeste, I think that's what it says. Thank you. This is important information. Then once you've replaced the negativity, you started reassuring yourself, Now you can relabel your self talk. Remember, I said I like to be honest and call a thing and tell myself the truth, as ugly as it may be. I've learned, and this is something legal people will tell you, tell the truth one time. You don't have to, you don't have to do anything else with the truth. It stands, it holds. And if you tell the truth one time, it's still the truth. Lies you have to embellish and work on and massage, think of different ways and words and how you'll position it to different people, how you'll make it sound. Lies are a lot of work. And that's even inside your head. You will find your thinking and self talk simple. Life just becomes simpler and clearer when you tell yourself the truth. And then relabeling your self talk means you tell yourself the truth. Like I used the example of messing up something you're trying to do, you mess it up. Instead of beating yourself up in your head, I'm so stupid. I can't get anything right. Why didn't I do that right? Everybody's going to know I messed up. This is terrible. Stop that. Only you can do that. Stop it. Relabel it. Reframe it. Be kinder to yourself. I messed up, but you know what? I'm new to this. I messed up and they may not like it and people may talk about me, but hey, I've survived 100% of the times I've been talked about. I'll keep moving. I'll try harder the next time. And I know more now, so I can do better. Start that, like I said, instead of a problem, looking for a solution, think solution, looking for a problem. It just shifts how you think and how you talk to yourself. And you don't have to reinterpret the truth. You can relabel it though. Bad things happen. We've been in a 2 year, I never thought we'd be here in this pandemic and the things that are going on in society. It's who knew? Wasn't on my vision board in 2019, 2020. I can guarantee you that. I don't have to relabel the truth, but I don't have to reinterpret the truth. I can relabel it. Because of the pandemic, it has forced me out of my shell to doing things like this podcast. I've been thinking about it for years. But it forced me to come out of my shell and come out from behind. And this is my attempt to offer society something better, to offer society information that helps me cope and live a better life and talk to myself the way I would talk to a dear friend. That's really the goal when it comes to self talk. You really do want to rescue yourself. That is the real goal of positive self talk. And I don't even want to use the word positive because it has so many negative connotations now. But I do want you to rescue yourself from living in complete negativity. Rescue yourself from always thinking the worst, imagining the worst, replaying the worst things over and over in your head. That's something else I learned to do. Instead of hyper focusing on, and repetitively telling myself the bad things that happened in my life, like I started this broadcast off asking you, What's your greatest joy today? I've learned to focus on those things. Some people call it a gratitude list or gratitude journal, or however you want to do that. That is a great habit to help reshape and rescue yourself, to relabel truth. Because while we can't be grateful for everything that happens for us, we can be grateful in it. You don't have to wait for things to change to practice gratitude. There are some times in my life that things were so bad and I had no way to figure it out. I was waiting on God that the only thing I could do is be grateful for opening my eyes or being able to breathe. And those are big things to be grateful for because everybody isn't able. But I learned to be grateful for, even if even if I couldn't be grateful for. It's a different way of talking to yourself. And I submit to you, while this will not transform your circumstances, the world's going to be the world, people are going to be people, situations are situations, jobs are jobs. I mean, things and circumstances may not change, but you will. And this may sound like, oh, I can't do this. You know something? Yes, you can, because you already do. You already think. You already self talk. I'm not introducing anything you don't already do. You already are doing this. I'm trying to help you do it in a way that helps you, not harms you. So let's do this together, okay? Your assignment, because I always give homework. I'm an educator, can't help it. It's natural, it's what I do. I love to teach. Start out by analyzing how you're thinking. Just think about it, write it down. What's your prevalent thinking? Don't try to change it. Don't be fake with yourself because it won't help you. If you try to pretend you're Pollyanna, you always think positive. No one does. I don't. And I know this stuff. I teach it. Then, once you've done that for a few days, like till Thursday, I want you to select a thought that you noticed isn't serving you well. Self talk that you know needs to change. It's negative. Then I want you to reframe it. Like, for instance, you may be experiencing grief. You may have lost a loved one. And your prevailing opening thought for the day when you hit the floor is, I miss them. I wish they hadn't died. I wish they were still here. Whatever your thinking is, that's where you start reframing that truth. And some of the things I do, because yes, I'm still grieving the loss of my loved one and the loss of my beloved pet, which may not matter to other people. He was my baby. And I'm coming up on a year since I put him to sleep. So I'm thinking about it more. And to conquer being negative about it, I reframe that. He was sick. I had to make the choice I made because it was the best thing for him. And while I miss him, I have great memories. He was a good dog. He was a fun dog. And no, I don't want another dog, so please don't start that with me. I don't. I'm not ready. And then instead of dwelling on what happened with putting him to sleep, I make myself think of the fun things, the things that I enjoyed, and I immediately feel better. And I keep myself talk that way. That is what I'm working on right now. That's just an example. You have your own area where you need to fix your self talk. This is how you can do it. It works. I promise you it works. Replace the negativity, reframe or relabel it. I don't like reframe because reframe involves trying to make it not be what it is. I want you to relabel it. Yes, it's horrible to experience death. It's so final, but there's gifts in grief if you look for them. You get really clear what matters really matters. And you don't do a lot of fluff. There's not a lot of peripheral stuff going on when you're grieving. Okay? Can you do this homework assignment? Yes, you can. And next week will be the start of our new theme for next month. I'll have a better idea how often I'll be able to come on. And we'll further being kind to ourselves so we can be kinder out in society. Everybody's going through something. Why not be kind? Okay? And you have to put your own air mask on first. You can't be kind to other people and mean to yourself. That empties your cup. You can't pour from an empty cup. So let's fill our own heads with kindness and telling ourselves the truth and talking to ourselves like we're loved. Because you are. So answer that question that I asked. What's your greatest joy today? Don't think about your problems. We'll relabel those when we get further in how we talk to ourselves. But think about that today. Okay. I'm Cheryl Carr, your work doctor. This is the Achieve with Dr. C broadcast. Thank you for joining me. And I hope something was said that you can use to make your day better today. Okay. I'll see you next week. Do your homework. Okay. Bye.